My name is Sunil, I'm the CEO of our group. Now, this topic we are about to speak is about hardware. Hardware, as we know, being an electronics, how much of you are electronic students? Can you raise your hands? Anyone? So, yeah, electronics is one of the most revolutionary trend in Nepal. Yeah? So, seriously, I'm asking one question. Have you ever opened up your laptop? Yeah. Have you seen what's inside the laptop? Yeah. So, inside the laptop, it's everything what you have studied till now. I'm trying to make it clear. Electronics, being an electronics engineer, if you haven't seen what's inside the laptop, how can you conclude that you're an engineer? How do you know what's a CPU? What's a processor? What's a SIO? How does a hard disk work? What's SSD? So seriously, a computer is an electronic device, and you being an engineer, you should know what a computer is. One of the most important question is, have you ever serviced a laptop? This is a serious question. A laptop needs to be serviced every 1.5 years. The fan gets clogged, the rams have to be cleaned, the thermal paste needs to be put inside the heat sink. So, I being myself an engineer, I had started Robotics Club in 2006 from Kathford. I established RAC back then. And in electronics, I saw that even though you start with microcontrollers, you know what a kit is, but you don't know actually what a computer is. You have never opened your PC, you have never even looked through your cell phones, have you? If there is even a small problem like there is a simple open circuit, can you repair it? There is no something such as academically we are very sound, we might be. You might score more than 80, you might score more than 90, but in an industrial level, in a professional level, we are nothing. I can see the big gap between you and the industry. So what Guru is trying to do is we are trying to bridge the gap between the academic level and the industry level. So the main concept of Guru was you don't know anything. So actually there was a teacher. He was telling me that the teacher was teaching them microprocessor and embedded systems. So we are talking about 8085 and 8086. That is more relevant to your examinations. But have you ever given a thought that the same chip now working on 64-bit or 32-bit is in your own bag? Have ever a teacher told you what a simple laptop is all about? What is the processor? How does it work? Learning 8085 is nothing actually compared. Even though it's important how it works, what's bus signal, what's data communication signal, but in a laptop, how does it work? Isn't it worth it to learn? So they tell that laptops repairing whatever it be, it's a mechanical thought, like mistri in the Nepali term. Mistri, let's say they're gonna fix your laptop, but being yourself as an engineer doesn't block your work. They might find kharab, but then my laptop process although how does it work? Just with the processor Q, i7 bhaneको Q, i3 bhaneको Q, what is DDR4, what is DDR3, what is SSD? So these are the most important things that you should know being an engineer. Regardless you be a civil engineer, regardless you be IT engineer, regardless you be an electronics engineer. So hardware platform is one of the promising IT trends. Why? Because of IoT. IoT is a software term that we know, but hardware is something different for IT people. For example, output. What is port 80? You're a analog port 0 signal, how do we know? Software just make some codes. Hardware doesn't know how to work. So hardware is the basic, but the most trending device, or let's say trending learning phase in this world. I can say that. So today is just the introduction of what we are. We are more capable than this, but this is just an introduction. We are giving an outline of what really Guru is. So Guru for now, we are just trying to explain you about laptops, basic ROM or BIOS, PCB, sensors, introduction to chip level technology, professional tools. Just give me an idea how much of you can do a proper soldering. Enough you can, except for robotics. What in robotics, can you tell me? Robotics? That's beautiful. So, For example, if our drone's ESC is in problem, have you cut open a drone's ESC? Because there's a drone ESC bitra. There's 8 megahertz. Have you seen that? 8 megahertz chip. So can you remove it? So these are the things that we try to show you, the professional tools that we use. So if it is expensive, I can say you, but if college can give you those instruments, you can make the SMT. Do you know what's SMT? Surface mount technology. Laptop to transistor sign put that's SMT. Soldering iron and nickel. Have you tried? You have failed, I guess. So we will give you some outline how to work. Wearables are for example, IoT trends. If you're going to make some kind of cloth that's embedded with some chips, embedded system, why can you make with a cloth? So what kind of connectivity things you can use, what kind of chips you can embed in clothes, what kind of things you need, professional tools. So I'll just give you an outline, don't worry. If I will not be able to make you understand in that short. Alright? So, do you know what is the first generation of laptop? Have you ever given a thought? So this is the first generation of I series. We are not talking about the Pentium 1, 2, 3, dual core, single core, or core 2 duo. This is just an outline of what you need to know. Alright? So this is the first generation of I series in 2011. Sandy Bridge was the first quad core, the first generations. So this is the 32 nanometer technology that we only study from Google, but you haven't seen. Actually, I had forgotten to bring a board today. I was hoping to bring a board at that. I really forgot. I'm very sorry. I would like to show you the laptop board. How does it look? What is the PCB? What is this microprocessor? Where is it held? I'm really sorry I couldn't bring it due to my time constraints and something like that. So next time, if I could, I'm gonna show you what really a PCB is all about. Okay? So this technology was all about PGA. What is PGA? PGA is pin grid array. So pin grid array means you can just take out the CPU and place it if CPU is wrong. So this is the first generation. Similarly, the second generation is only about 22 nanometer, but it's also of PGA technology. That's heavy bridge. Now, this is the third generation. This is the things we have been using right now. That's Haswell. That's also 22 nanometer. But now there's a difference. PGA and BGA are the two different things that we know. PGA means pin grid array. BGA means ball grid array. So what they're using is for conducting the CPU and to the board, what they use is balls of lead. So when you solder them in the chip, so they get placed in the motherboard. Before it used to be pin grid, the old Pentium 3 series, the CPU used to just come out and you can just place it. Now you cannot. The whole computing generation has turned into mobile actually. The latest computers are no different than a mobile. The mobile and the laptops are integrated in such that now you can't do a lot of work in that. We being as a repairing, we have a lot of problems, but the thing is, it's all about nanotechnology who can repair it. So, the fourth generation of laptop uses 14 nanometer. So you can see the nanometer is the conversion of all the chips into a small integrated device. So from third generation and on, it uses the BGA technology. That means to remove IC, you can never use a soldering iron. You need a special professional tools. I will be showing you some photos, but in our lab there are a lot of professional tools that you how to use those chips and those electronic devices. That is going to give you some idea and hint of what the future is all about. Working with soldering iron is not working now. Yes? Now this is the fifth generation. You can see the two type of color over here. This is the integration of PCH and the CPU. That means the motherboard is getting smaller and smaller and the processing is getting faster and faster. The power of the CPU is very high, but the power is very low. That means to say the consumption is very low, but the performance is very high. The small batteries that you get in the new processor are very like 4-cell batteries going to give you more than 3 to 4 hours of movie. That means everything is getting integrated. So you should know, being an electronics engineer, what's going on the board. Because these things you have in your own bag, but you don't know what's the criteria, what the things is working about. So you should be very familiar with. Alright. So these are the 6. We are currently on around 8 generations of laptops in quad-core technology. Are you familiar with these things? Alright. So, have you ever been problem with this one? Have you ever formatted a computer? Yes. So this is the one of the most, I guess. So do you know the difference between legacy and UEFI?
No.
Any idea?
No idea.
So you can just take a look, what is this all about? During formatting, what is the BIOS? Can anybody tell me what is the BIOS? Anyone? BIOS. Yes, that's BIOS. But how does it work? Can you know? Have you ever asked a teacher about it? Because you know that you have been learning about 8085 and 8086, but in the contrary to what you've been working, I think you should have asked the teacher, what's the BIOS? How does it work? These are the things we are lacking. Because back then, in 2007, I had been in IIT Kharagpur for a tech fest and a robotics competition. There was a lot of, the IITians were very interactive on those things. They were very, they used to ask the teacher, what is this all about? In contrast to Nepal, I don't know, they didn't ask much. They just wrote it down, they just get 80, I don't know what they get. After 2 months, they ask that blank, like, I didn't know this stuff. So this is the things we are trying to give it to you. This is just a, trailer for what we do in Guru. So these are the BIOS technologies. This is the simple ROM. This is EEPROM. On your right is EEPROM. That's a simple embedded system. Somebody is teaching embedded. That's the simple embedded control. That's called PC. It has got 8051. 8051 microcontroller is just that. It's inside your PC. Right now in your bag. This is teach you what is 89351. That's it, I guess. So these are the things that you have to know. What are the signals being transmitted? What happens when you press A on a keyboard? You should know that. So what we are trying to do, we Guru are trying to get you some idea what a computer really is. If you want to fix a computer, you can come to us, we're going to teach you. Actually, this should be in your academic platform. The teacher told me that teacher teaches what about 8085, but how does it work on a computer? Why don't you teach? They don't know. Really, I'm really sorry to say, but teachers don't know what an 8085 is. They might know what's 8085, but what's a computer? They don't actually. What they have studied is what they are teaching you now. But it's been changed now. This is 2017, not 2004. What a board is all about, that's in a computer, yes? Have you ever tried to do some signal tracing in a laptop? Have you ever tried it? What's the difference? What is the interaction between a PC, processor and a RAM? Have you ever given a thought? So these are the things we have. Have you ever, have you ever run a logic analyzer? Do you know what a logic analyzer is? SPI bus. SPI bus, I think we are quite familiar. Yes? So we have logic analyzers that we teach to the students how does it work. For example, a laptop battery and a charger, how does it work? We try to extract the signals from the power supply section. We actually tear apart the whole laptop computer and we try to figure out what's going on inside. We teach the students in that way. So being an engineering student, I think we should also interact and know what's more. So these are do you know that there are only no more than 5 companies making the PCBs. There are 6 to 14 layers of traces inside the PCB. I think a teacher didn't tell you that. Yeah? So there are only Quanta, Compal, Foxconn, Inventa and MSI company that are making the PCB, but Dell is only the branding agency. Dell doesn't make computers. They only sell the things that are made by Quantas and Compal. Intel makes chips, Compal makes the board, Dell only brands them. So just don't tell Dell is a computer. It's nothing, it's a brand, something like Facebook. Alright, there are pretty much no more than 5 to 6 companies making the boards. So what is all about PCB? How do you make the traces lines? What are the impedances? How do you, being an electronic engineer, you just need to know how does the Wi-Fi section not interfere with the PC, with the processor, RAM? What kind of buck boost converters are there in the power rails? How is the power rail differentiated between the address line and data bus? Things that you learn it's inevitable, it's inside a computer. So you should take a second thought about what a computer really is, because it's inside your bag now. For next now, if I'll give you some boards to work through, so you can just physically examine what a real computer is all about. Okay? So this is the simple structure of a laptop. I think you might know or not. So you can just get some broad ideas what is that. So there is ITV, there is LVPS, that's for display section. Simple PCH. This is the platform controller hub. This is the processor. How does it work? Basic information that is very mandatory, but students like it. So what's happening is the industry wants these things from the engineers. You are learning at 085. Now how can you process in between? How can you bridge the gap? You know what is at 085 working in 8 bit. These things work on 16 and 32 bits. So you're lagging in such a matter that you can't compete actually. You'll be searching for so many jobs. So I've heard so many times that electronics engineers are not getting jobs as they require. The thing is, industries are not prepared for them. You are not prepared to work for the industry. Industry is running for 64-bit. How can you work with 8 bits? You don't know how to use the soldering iron. How can they recruit you? You might know what is ESP8266. You might know what is Arduino. But you don't know how to use in a PCB track, you don't know how to solder it well. These are the things that's lacking in the engineering students. They are loitering. After your 8th semester, you are just going around and learning Java skills and teaching, being a tutor. I've seen that. Seriously, I'm really worried about the students. So this is the battery chemistry. Did you know what kind of batteries are there in the laptop? Lithium ion. Do you know what is the primary cell and what is the secondary cell? What kind of cell is primary cell? Anyone? Non-chargeable batteries are called primary cells. They can't be charged. Secondary cells are those which can be charged. So you can see what is the lead acid battery, NiCad batteries, lithium ions and polymers battery. What are the differences? The density and the power ratios are the difference over here. You can use it in a robot, you can use it in a laptop, you can use it in a phone. The basic chemistries you should be very familiar with. Do you know what a laptop battery is? So you can just take a look. There's positive, thermistor, clock, data, switch and negative. Plus minus is in the battery, but what is clock and data? So they are using SPI bus. To communicate with the laptop, the battery itself is made up of chips. So how do they communicate each other? You don't know. Then how can you work in an industry if you're not familiar with these things? So these are the things to be really addressed to students. Actually, the whole course to be changed is the most important to the students, because this is not your fault. The academics are made you to do that. You don't understand anything of such. How can you lead and how can you grow in an industry if you don't know these things? Simple things that are being so important are not being taught to you. Being as an academician, you might score 92, but if you can't work, what's the point getting so much marks? Did you know so much sensors are inside the phone? Have you any idea? There is accelerometer, there is gyro, proximity, magnetic switch, ambient light, dot sensor, camera, mic, magnetometer, barometer, gyros, everything is inside here. So this is an IoT you can call directly. This is an embedded system you can call directly. You can just program your phone. Get all the data in your pocket. This is a smartphone. Teachers don't teach you this. This is the most, I don't know, I can't say, this is the most irrelevant thing a teacher can do, is not teach the students, not knowing what the world is all about. Just giving them assignments and writing them in 6th semester or whatever is not going to judge you of anything. Yeah? There is so much things inside, like for example, the accelerometer uses MEMS, micro-electromechanical. Nobody knows about that. There should be actually PID, the lab that you do, PID labs in your control loops, control systems. These things can be all very, they can teach you so many things in their own homes. Teachers not going to teach because they don't know what they're trying to teach. They have learned from the, very past. Yes? These are the things we have in our Guru. So this is a professional BGA machine that takes out the CPU. The BGA, that's the ball grid array. The BGA was pretty much easily removable. This is a control heater with PID sensing inside it. So this is pretty much the highest technology that we could offer in Nepal. This instrument costs more than 2.5 to 3 lakhs. Yes, these are the instruments I give to my students so that they can repair their phones or their laptops. So this is an EST lab. I don't think so there's EST lab in our campus premises, is it? So do you know what is a voltage control system and what is current control system? For example, a BJT is a current control system and a PET is a voltage control system. The ESD is gonna screw the whole chip. If you just wear your, socks and just tap and just touch the IC is gonna go damaged due to the ESD. They didn't teach you that. ESD is the most dangerous thing. So that's the thing that's giving a big problem. The industry wants all these things, but the academics is just gonna be this. So we are trying to bridge the gap between you two so that you can get the perfect job you like. This is our promise from Guru. Any student who wants to know what the real trend is all about, you can come, you can just visit Guru, you can see our labs. There is no difference than your computer lab or the electronics lab below. I have made all those equipment possible with 100 megahertz oscilloscopes, programmable power supplies, hot air guns, temperature controlled soldering irons, a flux that costs more than 1,000 rupees. That's not found in Nepal. This is the pitching machine. This is the digital CRO. Actually, this is the picture. I couldn't just click off my photos over there. This 100 megahertz. This is the component tester. Have you ever given a thought? What is this? Have you ever heard of this component tester for electronic boards? A component tester is a device that checks every device and equipment. Just open circuit, short circuit, resistor, capacitor, base emitter section, base current section, inner diode, and a diode. So this device you can just directly probe and find out that this thing is working or not. So these are the devices that is lying in your technical, let's say, in your educational fields. This is the programmer. I think you are familiar with this. This is a mini pro programmer. I think this costs around 10,000 at least. So these are more than that. So this programmer programs the BIOS of a little computer. So you don't know that. If the computer goes dead, you don't know what's going wrong. We just flash the program and it just comes into life. What is BIOS? We don't know that, yes? So we try to teach you what is BIOS. What kind of chip you can program in your own PC. We program it. It's simple ROM. Simple EPU. We use Fluke multimeters. Are you familiar with Fluke multimeters? Yes. It's made in USA. We have a lot of them. We don't trust those Chinese 500 rupees TT multimeter. We just get the best. It costs more than 20,000, but it's worth it. That's the professional tools we get. This is a simple programmable power supply that you can. This is not a simple lab power supply. This you can just program with your current control and voltage control. Yes, current control and voltage control. And similarly, we have got the best soldering irons that we can afford. This costs more than 2,500 to 2,000 rupees. IC, you don't get in the power. And this is the SMD rework station. The small chips that you can't take out from a soldering iron is used to take out with this rework station using hot guns. So hot guns, what does it do is, it deliberately gives hot air that's gonna melt the solder. So solder that can be either lead free or leaded. That's the different temperatures and their core temperatures too. So what kind of flux? Do you know what is a flux? Flux. You don't know that. So I don't know what you guys are studying now. Flux is a chemical that clears out all the residues, or let's say all the oxidizers. So when you add a flux to a PCB, it reduces the surface tension so that when you add a solder, then it's gonna create a best surface area that's gonna cling to the joint of the PCB. So if you don't use the proper solder, you are never gonna do any kind of rework, or your any type of project is gonna be failure. So these are the flux. This is US made product. These two are US made products. Kester company, nice solder, and we got the Amtech flux. So these are the things that you should really know, what the professionals use it. Yes, the references are from batteryuniversity.com, Wikipedia, Intel, Vinafix, Art of Electronics. Have you ever read the book Art of Electronics? Are you familiar with that book? Art of Electronics. You should read that. It's the best book I've ever seen. And Hardware Bible. I think you're quite familiar with Hardware Bible. It's one of the good books. So question and answers, please. If you'd like to. How about your computers, laptop, mobile, anything you like. Anything you like. You can just ask me. Queries. Go on. What's your computer going like? Is it going down? You need a servicing? You need to upgrade your RAM, SSD, whatever you like. All right, if there's no questions, then I think we can conclude this. Thank you all from Guru Institute. I would like to thank Kathford Guru College and all those students for giving us a platform and getting us to know what the real trend is all about. So I think we can work out. Yes, yes, please. Okay, thank you.